Welcome to the Average Gamers channel. I'm Masked887 and I'm here to give you some tips on how to get better at Valorant. I know you're probably thinking he's probably going to repeat stuff that you've heard thousands of times from other videos and from probably better players. Hopefully that won't be the case. Even if you walk away from this video with just one new tip from us, it makes it worth it, doesn't it? We'll try to give you some accessible tips and ways that you can practice to improve your game so you can just start having more fun. That's the whole point of playing any game, right? To have more fun. To that end, I'd like to welcome you to the Average Academy. The first thing I want to talk about is finding your sensitivity. I know you probably watched a million videos by now about how to find your sensitivity, and everybody probably just tells you, hey, just do what's comfortable for you. Well, that's all good and nice, but what if you're brand new and you don't know what's comfortable for you? I want to talk to you about my sensitivity and what makes sense to me. Luckily, Valorant has a really nice way of adjusting your sensitivity. I'm going to start by turning on my mouse cam and showing you what works for me. One basic idea that really made sense to me is a one-to-one translation from my hand movement to the movement on screen. What I mean is a one-to-one translation from hand to screen. So if I move my hand 1 centimeter across my desk, I expect to see 1 centimeter movement on the screen. A perfect one-to-one translation. If you adjust the sensitivity too high or too low, you kind of have to make this translation in your head, extra translation in your head, which you can get used to that. But to me, why add that extra step? A good place to practice and figure out your sensitivity is here at the firing range. You'll notice that every shot I take lands in front of the target. My mouse cursor is not going far enough. In cases like this, what you want to do is increase the sensitivity just a little bit and see how it goes. If you find you go past the target and you have to flick back to the target, then your sensitivity is way too high and you should decrease it. Let's talk about recoil control. I'm going to talk about the Phantom and Vandal first, probably the two most popular guns I've seen in the game. The habit that I see people getting stuck in from playing other FPS games is spraying too much. This game does not reward spraying like it does in Apex Legends or Call of Duty Warzone. You get your most accurate shots from single tapping, bursting. I suggest that you use the Guardian for a while. The Guardian is a really good gun. It's very strong and it's slightly cheaper than the Phantom and Vandal. The advantage of it as a training weapon is that it does not have the ability to spray. It's single fire only. Use the Guardian for a while and try to kick that habit. So how do I practice my recoil control? What I do is put a training wheel on my crosshair. What does that mean? I put these 4 extra dots around my crosshair and I'm gonna change the way it looks so that and exaggerate a little bit so you can see what I mean. I'm gonna make the outer line thickness fully maxed so you can see what happens when I pull down on my recoil. You'll notice that the bullets are now landing not on the center crosshair, but on the top dot, so that in game when you play, what you want to do is start at the middle crosshair and pull down to the top dot, and you'll notice that shots are now landing. It's a nice little training wheel. There's a limitation to this though. It doesn't work when the enemy is 20 meters away. So how do you figure out in game if the enemy is 20 meters away? For this, I use the training wheel. If you see the character model fit inside the top and bottom dot, that's how you'll know that they're 20 meters away. If they're larger than that, go ahead and try to practicing your spray. But if you're any farther than that, definitely do single fire or burst. And it's up to you on how your style of play. If you find that your teammates are rushing in all the time, then you'll probably want to pick a gun that you can spray with because you'll be in enemies' faces all the time. But if you are assigned a role to hang back in window and get picks, go with the Guardian so you don't get tempted into accidentally spraying. Last thing I want to talk to you about is counter strafing. This is a really advanced technique and has been so amazing in this game. A lot of people want to just ADS and crouch. I don't recommend this because once mastered, it will give you mobility to dodge bullets and the accuracy that you would get if you were crouching or ADSing without sacrificing any mobility. I'm going to turn on the movement area on both crosshairs so that you can see what happens. So you'll notice that when I go left and right in movement, crosshair shows a lot of error and your shots are going to be really off. But that makes sense. That's for any game, right? Your aim should be worse while you're moving. And so typically what a new player does is they'll stop walking and shoot, and that works. However, if you go against somebody that's counter strafing, they are going to get their shot off first, because when you counter strafe, your crosshair corrects slightly faster than if you just stop walking. If you take two equal players with equal skill, one counter strafes and one stops walking, the counter strafing player is going to have a huge advantage over getting their shot off first. Before I continue, I want to take a quick ad break. Please support the channel by visiting our sponsor, day1clothing.net. It's a great brand, and I gotta tell you, their hoodies are so comfortable. You've probably seen me wear it a couple times on stream. If you do check it out, please let them know that Average Gamer sent you. Have you been down since day one? Back to counter strafing. So the way it works is that instead of just stopping and aiming, what you do is you strafe the opposite direction. So if you're holding D to go right, quickly tap A, then fire. You'll find that that first shot will land perfectly, just like if you just ADS down or stopped walking. And the way you want to practice is at different distances, just by standing here, strafing from the wall, and trying to hit the bullseye as many times as possible. If you mess up, no problem. Clear the board, try again. See if you can get 5 to 10 perfect shots in a row. I know what you're thinking. I was thinking the same thing. I can't practice this in-game without dying over and over and over, and it's frustrating to try to practice something new in-game when your opponents just keep punishing you for trying. So, I recommend practicing it in the practice range here. And the best way to do that is with Sage. You want to press F2 to change characters, pick Sage, and shoot the practice button here. You can practice here with a bunch of enemies. And then if you want to take it to the next level, you want to use Sage's ability, wall ability. Create some walls and some barriers and just start strafing and practicing, getting those headshots. Simple, right? Try to see if you can get 5 or 10 in a row. If you can, you're way ahead of most of the people playing the game. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I hope these tips are helpful to you guys. And if they are, please subscribe and turn on notifications there, and leave a comment below and tell us what you think. We'd love your suggestions on how to make these videos better. And if you get a chance, please join us on stream and hang out with us. We're always looking for more company. We'll put all the links down below. Hope to see you guys come back.
My camera is this. Right.